few years ago, my husband graduated from an MBA program. It was very time intensive because it was an 18-month program. So he was gone every other weekend, and then in those 18 months, it was 4 weeks that he was gone straight through. At the time, I had a 2.5-year-old and a 6-month-old. But we were both on board that this is what he needed to do. So when he graduated, I realized I had a little bit extra time on my hands. And I felt a calling to volunteer, doing something for some good. And I really didn't know what, but I wanted to take my time to make a good decision. So a few months goes by and I'm still feeling the yearning to volunteer. I looked at my calendar as I was prayerfully considering a volunteer opportunity, and I thought, how many hours a week or minutes do I have that I could invest my time into something and not feel guilty that I'm leaving my family, especially with kids that young. So another month or two goes by and I still haven't made a decision. And normally I'm a quick decision maker. So this was kind of tugging at my heart. But I was busy with young kids and work and my husband's work. And so I finally got to a point where I thought, this is it, Lord. I have the time. I've got the yearning in my heart. Where do you want me to go? Where do you want my skills or talents to help? Where should I be pointing them? Where should I be looking? And I had considered a few different places. I considered a nonprofit organization that I had worked for previously. I was very familiar. I knew the time commitment. I knew the people. And then I kind of thought about serving in my church ministries, but I really didn't know a lot of people in there at the time, so I wasn't quite sure if I could commit to that. I thought about my children's school. And so it's funny because I remember one night the exact road I was driving down, coming home from something. And I thought, God, I'm trying to offer up some time here. Where do you want me to go? And I kind of let it go. The next night, I attended a program at my church and sat next to a woman that I wouldn't normally have sat next to. And she started telling me that she was in charge of the Elizabeth ministry at my church. So she told me about this ministry that serves women in their childbearing years. I thought, I need to get involved in this. And that's when she said, I have to resign from leading this group. So in my heart, I thought, this is the opportunity. But I wanted to talk to my husband about it, and I really wanted to, again, make sure that this was something I really could commit to. And so after a week or so, I agreed to co-chair this ministry with a friend of mine. And years later, it turned into a blossoming mom's ministry that has now been going on for 6 or 7 years. Weeks later, after that, once I had made my decision and I was leading this ministry at the time, I was asked to do another volunteer opportunity that was awesome. It was for somebody I really admired. It was for my former high school that I went to. It was in communications. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. But I paused and I thought, you know what? I committed to this church ministry that I love and I'm so happy I'm involved in. I bit off exactly what I could chew. And I'm going to have to say no to this. Although it's a great opportunity, I'm going to have to say no. Even for this person who asked specifically me to volunteer and help with this communications of this high school. And oddly, I did it. I was able to say no and not feel guilty because I had very prayerfully and proactively thought about what am I able to do? What am I able realistically to take on with my calendar, knowing where my family's at, the life stage that we're at, and all the needs of my family members or friends that I was currently involved in. So I think about this as time has gone on, and I have stepped away from that ministry for varying reasons, but it's still going strong. And I thought, you know what? Other women were able to step up when I had to step away, and now my time and talents are directed at other interesting ventures. So it makes me think about the guilt that so often moms feel when we feel like we should say no or have to say no, but then sometimes we don't, and then we regret that we didn't say no. I have a friend in particular who will always run something by me, and she'll say, oh, I kind of got talked into this. I said, well, hold on. Is it something you want to do? Is it something you can do? Is it something, or did you just say yes because you felt guilty? Well, yeah, I did. Well, even God doesn't want us to say yes just because we're feeling guilty. But it's interesting because we can get tugged in so many different directions. And I'm not saying to never volunteer and to always say no. Clearly, that is not the message here. But what if we could think about how our time can be used for the good of living our life the way God wants us to, listening to where He wants to direct us. There is no doubt in my mind that as I was praying for months about where He wanted me, that opportunity was not ready yet. So it didn't get pushed to the forefront for months. It was on God's time that this happened. So let's respect our time and let's be realistic. So when we say yes, we have we're leaning into it, a full-blown yes. But when we say no, it's not just because we feel guilty. And I'll tell you what, because I was able to pray about it and be really proactive about, okay, I would like to volunteer. How much time do I really have? Do I want to go this route? Do I want to go this route? I was able to say no without that guilt. So think about one thing in your life that you might even be able to anticipate. Your children might be in school or a special camp or program that they might participate in. Might volunteers be needed for that? Could you be asked to be a team mom of something? Do you have time for those type of things? Is that where you want to proactively put your energy toward? And once you make that decision, what it is you think God is calling you to do, then you can say, all right, this is it. This is my gift. This is where I'm using it. So I might help I might help an organization find another volunteer, but I cannot do that. And then don't look back. Don't feel guilty about that because your energies are exactly where they need to be after you've prayed about it and been proactive about how you spend your time. Until next time, have a great day.